So if at this point you are still struggling with selecting your niche, maybe this lesson will bring in more clarity to you, right? So, or at least help you with the overall trajectory of your decision and selection. So, yeah, what are CPMs to begin with? So, I do want to talk a little bit more about CPMs. For the people that don't know, CPM stands for cost per milli or mile. Sorry, English moment. This is what companies pay YouTube for every 1,000 views they get on their ads that are placed in your videos. So you all know there are ads before, after, and sometimes in between of the videos. This depends on the length of your video. This is how you, as a creator, if you're in the YouTube Partner Program, can make money with AdSense on YouTube. In general, YouTube will pay 55% of the CPM. This is your RPM, revenue per million. So this is how much you keep in the end. However, I'm going to talk about the CPMs because they determine your RPM, and therefore these are the most important. Also because CPM is the data that is kind of more accessible on the internet, right? But the way it works is basically you see someone's CPM, and to figure out how much they make, subtract the 45% from it, from the number, which is YouTube's cut. Yeah, this is screenshots from my YouTube Studio from the phone. In the YouTube Studio phone app, by the way, I suggest you to download the app. This is the only place where you can see this. I didn't really find a place to see this on the computer in the web browser version of the Studio. So those metrics, they represent the CPM on my channel. So on the left picture, we can see the CPM for the previous 365 days. So really since December the 4th, 2023. And on the right picture, we can see the CPM in the previous 90 days. So yeah, on the right, it's been around $12 on average, which is about right. So that makes my CPM like what, I guess roughly at $5, very roughly. I mean, my RPM is about $5. But it started out very low actually. The picture on the right is not really, the picture on the left is not that accurate because maybe the first month my actual RPM was like $1. Even though it says roughly $5, it was actually like $1. So that was pretty disappointing, but it just kept going up ever since. Also, one thing, when you get monetized, it's really far from now, but at some point when you get monetized, maybe you'll remember this lesson, that just don't get discouraged if your CPM looks very low. Again, I started at $5, and at peak moments it was hitting $17 per 1,000 views, which I was pocketing $8 per 1,000 views, right? So it only grows, depending on the niche, of course. So this is the kind of money that my viral videos have made, somewhat viral videos. So this is my best performing video by far, the how to make monetizable faceless videos, and it has the RPM of 3.54, as you can see right here. So for 374,000 views, I got $1,300 paid, and yes, this is by far my most banger video, and the CPM is $11.3. Now, there's another video, and it has the CPM or the RPM of $6, so kind of twice as much as this video does, almost. And it made me $800 for how many? I think it has roughly like 800 views. I mean, I'm sorry, 100,000 views, roughly 130K views. And this video has almost closer to 400K views at the time of recording. So what I'm trying to say is you should really try to make longer videos because they ultimately make more money. Because look, this video is 1 hour long and it has the RPM of $6. And this video is 20 minutes long and it has the RPM of $3. The reason it ultimately made more videos because, I mean, the reason it made ultimately more money is because it ultimately got more views. Duh. But again, this video got 4 times the views than this video has, but it only has 2 times the money. So, you know, if this video, let's say, goes to 400K views eventually, it's gonna make roughly $3,200, right? Whereas at the same level of views, this video only made $1,300. So yeah, just again, project your channel, model your channel, think about your channel as the channel where you're going to be able to create very long videos. I don't care if you don't want to do them. It doesn't matter. It's the game. It's the sauce right now on YouTube is to create very long videos. It's just how it is. Whether you like it or not, that's just how the market is working right now. So that's what is in demand, basically. It's all about supply and demand, right? So um, another thing which I just wanted to bring to your attention, because there's a lot of YouTube gurus out there, but until recently, if your video was longer than 8 minutes, you as a creator could choose if you want to have mid-roll ads on your videos. These are the ads that you sometimes see during the videos, right? Like your average ads, you click on skip the ad, right? So if your video is longer than 8 minutes, you could place more ads, which can make you more money. And until recently, you were able to make this selection. However, recently YouTube changed that. Now you cannot choose anymore what type of ads to play, but you can still choose where to place them. So here's how it looks. So if I go to my video, I have this in the monetization tab. I have this tab ad breaks, and then I choose to I always click place automatically because YouTube just knows where to place them, obviously. And yeah, so the before update on this tab, you would have this particular menu, but it's not existing anymore. And so yeah, the reason I mentioned it's important, the reason I mentioned the older version and of the ad placement and the most recent one is because there are different gurus, out there spamming you with outdated information to this day. So this is obviously the most relevant revenue model. Now, where am I going with all this? Make 8+ minute videos minimum, at least minimum, no shorter. The longer the better. The longer the videos, the more they get pushed, the more money you make because of the ability to have more ads played. Like I showed above with $6 RPM versus $3 RPM difference. So the more money YouTube makes, because again, it does have the opportunity to place more ads, and they do want to make more money because it is a business. Duh. It's a win-win-win situation. In my humble opinion, having longer videos gives you sort of an unfair advantage in this context. If you don't believe me, go on your homepage and analyze how many 20+ minute videos you're going to see versus how many 4-minute videos you're going to see. And I just hope it proves my point. YouTube simply makes more money with your longer videos, so it will push them more. LOL. Again, it is a business. It wants to make money. This is capitalism, right? Let's not sugarcoat it. Everybody's here to make money. So keep in mind that you should only do this if you can actually keep people watching through those 8 minutes or more or 1 hour, right? So I'm not just saying, don't get me wrong. The value has to go in. Yeah, because the amount of time people spend watching your video is a key indicator for the YouTube algorithm to decide if it will push your video to a larger audience. More on that later. So it's better to make a shorter video that gets a lot of views than a longer video with less views, because a lot of people decide to stop watching early on in the video, right? So don't get me wrong. If you really cannot handle making 10-minute video and the best you got is 4 minutes, so be it. It's good for a start, but it's not ideal. Only make long videos if you can pack them with value, right? Sometimes it is also okay to make a video under 8 minutes if it's absolutely comes down to it. Or let's say if it's a sponsored video, you got paid for it another way, right? That's also an example. That's cool. Another pro tip: when you just get monetized for 1-2 months, don't even bother and just always select the place automatically right here. This one. So every single time, let YouTube take care of it afterwards, so you will have some data to work with and maybe make adjustments. So I actually want to show you something funny. What I used to do myself when I just got monetized. It's gonna make complete sense to you in a second. So what I would do is I would go to the review placement and I would pack this thing with ad breaks. Like I would do this mad stuff. Like I would literally insert ad breaks every like 30 seconds, right? Like the entire video timeline would look like this. I mean, this is ridiculous. First of all, think about yourself as the viewer. How often do you go? And here's the thing, I'm not the only person to do that. I'm sure there are other creators who are just don't understand this, so they would at least attempt to pack the video with ads like this, and how many times you as the viewer would go into a long video and you would see ads every minute. I doubt that ever happened. In reality, if you now think about it, you probably see an ad regardless every other video, right? So like you watch a video, you see ad in between. Sometimes you can go from video to video without even seeing a single ad. So what I'm saying is YouTube is a business, right? So they ultimately want to make as much money as possible, allowing the advertisers to advertise on your videos. But at the same time, they ultimately value the customers, the viewers, so they don't want to ruin their experience with overwhelming them with ads. So, regardless of how many of these things you're going to place, the viewer is going to see one or two anyways. So just leave it to YouTube, place them automatically, or at least manually place them one at the end, one in the beginning, and maybe one somewhere towards the end. So if the people do click off, like place them right here. You see how I have multiple right here, right? Those are placed manually because that's kind of the editing stage of the video in this case. So if the people watch the video for 30 minutes and now this is like the editing part, they probably will not click off anyways. So it's not going to hurt. But if I pack the intro with the ads and they actually happen to play, that's only going to hurt me, right? So instead of making more money, I'll make less money because I'll get less views. So continuing with this, so like I said in the previous lesson, not every type of video gets the same CPM. Different topics have different CPMs. Let me explain this. So let's take, for instance, a video about Fortnite or any other video game for that matter. I think it's safe to say that these videos are mostly watched by teenagers, and in general, teenagers don't have a lot of money to spend. So most advertisers don't really like to place their ads on these kinds of videos unless they're selling a game, for instance. And whatever ads you see on games, of course, video gaming content still gets ads, but it gets like the cheapest ads, right? Complete trash, to be honest, in terms of payouts. So on the other hand, if you're making videos about, let's say, finance, then you probably have a different audience, not kids for sure. Mostly people that watch finance videos are a little older, have more money to spend, and or are looking for ways to make money and don't mind investing a little to do so. So these topics have much higher CPM. It just makes sense, right? Because the advertisers know that they can make money. They can make more money by advertising on these types of videos, right? The thing is, when an advertiser, sorry, I cannot talk anymore, pays for an ad, they almost always want to make money, right? So I mean, that's why you advertise. So if your audience has a high buyer intent, which simply means if the likelihood that the viewer is going to buy something is high, the CPM of your video will go up. So combine this with an audience that has that has a lot of money to spend, and you will have high CPMs. So honestly, just a rule of thumb, any kind of audience, that's exactly why I really suggest all of these niches, because that's kind of really going, like, it's really correlated with this. If you think about it, all of these niches by default get, except maybe self-improvement, all of these niches by default get watched by adult, intelligent people with buy power. Even self-improvement, even if a lot of teenagers watch it, arguably, these videos get watched from premium countries, which I'll touch upon later, and so they get good monetization, and it's easy to sell on these pages, so that's why they are here. Yeah, a good example is videos where people are comparing credit cards. For example, banks earn significant money when someone gets a credit card with them, and many times these individuals remain with a bank for the rest of their life. When someone is searching for a comparison video, they are not doing it for fun. They are genuinely interested in a credit card, right? How often, you get my point, right? So therefore, advertisers, mostly banks, are eager to place their ads on these videos. That's why CPMs for such videos can exceed $100 per thousand views. There are also a few other factors that play a role when YouTube determines the CPM. For instance, your country and the country of your viewers matter. You'll get a higher CPM when you have many viewers from the United States compared to, for instance, India, because people in the United States generally have more money to spend than people in India. And again, therefore, advertisers are willing to pay more for videos with that audience. In fact, here are the kind of premium countries that you really want to target the viewers from. Viewers from these countries have ultimately the highest buy powers. So it's USA, United Kingdom, Australia, Germany, Finland, Sweden, Norway, Denmark, Netherlands, Romania, Italy, Canada. Maybe we could add France, arguably. Um, Switzerland, I forgot to add. Write it down, please. So the CPM is something you can consider when choosing a niche. However, I wouldn't recommend making it a key factor in your decision. Firstly, videos about finance will never get as many views as videos about gaming. So, moreover, if you can build a dedicated following, there are far better ways to monetize your videos than just relying on YouTube AdSense. So, just to give you a heads up, I make more money from myself from affiliate links, marketing, product placements, and now the school community than I do with the AdSense, right? Even though it's like, I mean, it's decent money. How much did I make last month? 2K, I believe. Yeah, but compared to other income, it's becoming insignificant. So, yeah, it's my smallest income at this point, and that's what you should aim for as well, right? AdSense is very unstable. As far as I'm concerned, channel can get demonetized tomorrow for no reason. It also happens on YouTube. Just channels get demonetized. Be like, oops, sorry, we demonetize you for a month. Apply later. It really happens. It really does. So be aware of that. If that's a business, you should be really aware of every scenario. So yeah, on the other hand, high CPM niches are also highly competitive, making it challenging to get views if you want to compete in those niches. I'm not saying it's impossible, but you will need to provide very high quality videos to stand out. So most of the times you will have to do 20% better on all three aspects of the triangle, going back to the previous lesson. So here's a table with different niches and their CPMs according to vloggerpro.com. You see low bid and high bid. This is because ads are like an auction that companies need to bid on. So this gives you a relatively good indication of video topics with high CPMs. And keep in mind, these CPMs are what advertisers are willing to pay for 1,000 views on the ad. So if you have multiple ads on your video, your earnings will be higher. Yeah, if myself have roughly a $12 CPM, I guess we could attach my channel to online business or, e-commerce, something like this. But yeah, feel free to open this doc. It's gonna be right here. Take a closer look, analyze it because it's a lot of information. I get it. Yeah, just get accustomed with it because it's again kind of the foundation of YouTube. This particular set of information.